Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Wednesday slate. We got a solid 8-game slate, not too big, not too small, a nice medium-sized slate today. Let's jump right into it. You can drop a like and subscribe down below. I posted a FanDuel video for NFL late last night, so you can check that out if you want. And I also posted the DraftKings a couple days ago. If you haven't checked that out already, we'll probably have a showdown tomorrow or later today. Video out for Thursday, so I'm all into football mode, still giving out baseball picks and still in baseball mode too while being in football mode. But can't wait for Thursday, can't wait for Sunday. It's been a while since we've had any other DFS to play except for baseball. But today at pitching, we have a couple of good options at the top. I mean, Bieber is probably your best option at 11.5 facing the White Sox. I think it's a fine play. He is pretty expensive, but if you can get to him, then I like him a lot. I'm not interested in paying 10-4 for Bumgarner with all those right-handed hitters that the Cardinals have, and they have hit Bumgarner pretty well in his career. I think Gallen's a little too expensive at 96, even though the matchup is good. There's not a ton of good pitching options, so you should definitely be in your player pool if you play a bunch of lineups. Don't like Erod against the Twins. Ryu is all right. It's not great with the strikeouts, so I'm not that interested, even though the price tag's pretty appealing. But I really like Paddock here. He's cheap at only $8,300. His price went down after he put up 30 DraftKings points. He struggled in some starts before that, but you did have some tough matchups, the Red Sox, the Dodgers. So it's a solid matchup here against the Diamondbacks. It's on the road, but the roof is closed, so that's going to help pitchers, obviously, when the roof's closed. He just has a ton of strikeout upside, and even though he doesn't go over 100 pitches, he is pretty efficient. He doesn't walk a lot, so he can still go 5, 6, maybe even 7 innings if he is pitching really well. He doesn't go 100 pitches, but he can go over 90 to 95 if he is pitching decent, and he doesn't get into a lot of trouble with the walks, which is good. And he's a really good strikeout pitcher, so at 8,300, he has that 30-point upside, which is rare to find out a pitcher at that price. And then second pitcher is going to be Trevor Williams. I think there's a couple of cheap options you can consider with Trevor Williams. I also don't mind Junis against the Tigers. And then Waka at 5,900 is probably a nice cheap play. And then if you want to go full punt, you can play Edwin Jackson against the Royals. If people stack against him, then, depending on the ownership of the Royals, it might be an interesting play just because he can have a decent game every now and then. He did put up 20 against them last time when everybody was on the Royals, so if everybody's on the Royals again and he has another good outing, then that's a great leverage. But I think it's a little too risky for cash. Just go with Trevor Williams here. That's more of a GPP play. Williams at 6,600 playing at home. He's been up and down all season. He's been good in his last couple starts. Hopefully that can continue in a matchup against the Marlins at home. Just more times than not, he's going to come out with a decent outing, but not great outing. He has got blown up a couple times, but I don't really see the Marlins blowing anybody up. Pitching at home, it's a solid ballpark to pitch in. And he's always just been a good real-life pitcher, not a great fantasy pitcher, but now his price tag is at a point where you can definitely get some upside out of him given the right matchup. And I think this is a pretty good matchup against the Marlins. They have a low total, as always. And just like the price tag a lot on him and Paddock. So they're the two pitchers I'm going with. Leaves you with plenty to spend on your hitters. Lots of pretty good teams to stack. The Dodgers are probably the top stack, followed by the A's. I like the Indians a bit. And the Royals are still going to be stackable. I don't want to full fade them. First base, I like a one-off here in Paul Goldschmidt at 3,900. Whenever he's facing a lefty, he should be over 4,000. You get him under 4K. Facing Bumgarner, he's also been very good against Bumgarner in his career. He's faced him almost 50 times. He's batting .388 against him with a couple bombs and a bunch of extra base hits during that stretch. And we know what Goldschmidt does against lefties, so he's a really nice price. Probably one of the best point per dollar plays at first base. It's very rare you get him at under 4,000 against a lefty. And against lefties this season, he's batting only .247, but he has some power with 8 home runs. The ISO is definitely much higher against lefties at .294 ISO this season against lefties, with a massive 54% hard hit rate and a 40% fly ball rate. And career-wise, Goldschmidt's always been good against lefties, batting a career .318 against southpaws with a 269 ISO to go with a 48% hard hit rate. Absolutely love Goldschmidt, given Bumgarner's struggles against right-handed hitters with power. On the season, Bumgarner is giving up a .435 slugging and a .255 average to righties. He also gets a little bit of a park downgrade going into St. Louis. Whenever you leave San Francisco, it's always a park downgrade. And righties have hit him pretty hard this season, 44% hard hit rate given up for Bumgarner. So all things considered, Goldschmidt's going to be one of my staples at first base, given that price tag. Next up at third base, I like Matt Chapman facing a lefty in Sandoval. Chapman's having an incredible season, up to 31 home runs. He's just a really good player offensively, defensively, still young, and he's getting better and better. I like the matchup against lefties. He's been good. He's been powerful against both sides of the plate. This season he has 10 home runs in just 124 at-bats against lefties. He has a .323 ISO against lefties. Just a ton of power, 50% hard hit rate against lefties, 48% fly ball rate. Sandoval's been up and down. He has a high ERA. We'll see how long that will last, but I don't think he's going to have a great career. He's not like a top 5, top 10 prospect. So far, he's been struggling with the walks. He's given up some power. It's been a lot more to lefties, but it's only been very small samples, so you can't really judge it there. He is striking righties out at a very high clip, which can be a little concerning. But I think the sample is just a little too small here to really consider anything. So I'm still going with Chapman. I like the price tag on him at $4,300 a lot, and with the upside that he has and the total that the A's have. And then in the outfield, going to go with Cody Bellinger. Love the Dodgers today against Sensatella. Sensatella's been really bad. He has like negative fantasy points in, I think, 3 straight starts. So the Dodgers look really appealing, especially Bellinger, who's having an incredible season. From start to finish, he's been so good and pretty much consistent besides a little slump here and there. He's been so solid this season. Lefties are crushing Sensatella with a .350 average and a .565 slugging percentage. You get a ton of left-handed hitters in this Dodgers lineup with Bellinger, with Seager, with Peterson if he's in there, with Beatty at the bottom of the order. Just a lot of lefties. They look really good. So Bellinger, I like him at 56. And then last but not least, I'm going with Chris Davis here. He's $3,500, just like him as a value option. He's not having a great season, but he's been a little better in his last couple games. He's only $3,500 facing a lefty. This season, Davis has been massive. Usually he's reverse splits, but this year he has not been. He's been really good against lefties, and he's been terrible against righties. Against lefties, batting .269. The power is definitely there with 8 home runs. He has a .231 ISO under a 20% K rate. And against righties, where he has a 63 WRC plus, at least against lefties, he has a 124 WRC plus. So he's still hitting the ball hard. He's just getting pretty unlucky. And if he doesn't strike out, he can still make solid contact. And I just like the matchup here at that price tag at home. So that's what I like. Going with the A's, going with some Dodgers bats are my favorite 2 stacks. Still leaves you with plenty to spend on the rest of the lineup. $4,400 left. You really can just play whatever you want. All the expensive hitters. But that's what I like for today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.